I'm Stefan Lombard, Executive Editor of Hagerty Classic Cars. Today I'm in Austin, Texas at Motostalgia with this 1992 Chevrolet Corvette. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you should look for if you're interested in buying a C4 Corvette. Following the long run of the third generation Corvette, which ended in 1982, there was no Corvette for 1983, and the C4 debuted in 1984. It kept the Corvette's mandate, which was a front-engine, rear-wheel drive sports car. Overall, it was shorter on the outside, but bigger on the inside than the C3. 4 different engines found their way into the C4 Corvette. They were all based on Chevy's tried and true small block V8, beginning with a 1984 only L83 that made 205 horsepower. Next came the L98 in 1985. In 1992, the LT1 arrived, and by 1996, the C4's final production year, the 330 horsepower LT4 was under the hood. These engines were all mated to either a manual or automatic transmissions. The automatics were basically 700 R4 4-speed automatics that evolved over time. The manual transmission was a Doug Nash 4+3, 4 forward gears plus 3 overdrive planetary gears located in the rear. It was replaced in 1988 by a true 6-speed transmission. During this time, several special models were produced, including the Grand Sport and the world-beating ZR1, which was made from 1990 through 1995. It's a completely different beast, and we're not going to cover it specifically in this buyer's guide. Like all classic cars, or even modern classics, like the C4 is now, it has its issues. And the primary concern with these is rust. Just kidding, it's plastic. Fiberglass, actually. Overall, paint tended to be pretty good on these cars, but you might notice some crazing or spider cracks. If a pristine example is what you're after, you might have to be patient until that car comes along. Cosmetic problems aside, most of the issues you'll encounter with a Corvette like this are under the hood or in the cockpit. So let's take a look at those. While these small block V8s are generally very reliable, they do have some issues. On L98 cars with the alloy head, watch out for head gasket problems. On LT1 engines, which were in these cars from 1992 through 1996, the OptiSpark ignition system can be problematic. It's located here behind the water pump, and if moisture or water gets into that system, it can wreak havoc on the engine. Beyond that, check the condition of all the hoses, belts, and wiring. Make sure nothing's cracked or blistered. Look underneath the car, make sure there are no leaks. And finally, ask for maintenance records. It's never a bad idea, particularly to find out information about things like tires, brakes, suspension, clutches. All those wearable components tended to get abused in cars like this, so you want to make sure that they've been dealt with. So you've checked out the Corvette outside and in. The last thing you want to do is fire it up and take it for a drive. Check all your gauges. They should all come up when you start the car. Oil pressure, oil temperature. These cars are known for their acceleration. Even the 205 horsepower L83 of 1984 could get out of its own way. Convertibles were available after 1986. It's always a good idea to pop that cowl, put the top up, and inspect it. Look for any holes. You want to check the alignment on the car. Let go of the steering wheel, see if it tracks straight. With an automatic like this, you want to make sure there's no lag when it shifts gears. And in a manual, you want to make sure there isn't a lot of play in the gear shift, and that the shifts are crisp, clean, they feel good. These cars have lots of buttons in them, lots of gizmos. You want to press every single one of them. Make sure they work. Check the air conditioning. Check the tape deck. Another thing you want to be sure to check is the pop-up headlights. When you hit that switch, you want to know that both of them come up, both of them turn on. Corvettes are rewarding cars to drive. They're well laid out, they're well balanced, they sound great, and they go like stink. With so many Corvettes built in the 4th generation, there's no shortage of them out there, and they're for sale all the time. What you need to do is educate yourself, look at a lot of them, find exactly what you like, and don't be afraid to walk away. The bottom line, buy the best car you can afford, and America's sports car will reward you.